Testing. I turned that on. Yeah.
I have a few days ago. Lunch with Marty and John Marty was professional. And very much about that. He goes,
We were everywhere.
three names.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to call to order this public meeting of the Johnson County Board of Commissioners on this Monday, February 10th, 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m. Please pray with me if you care to, and then we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Father, we do thank you and praise you for your grace and your mercy in our lives. We thank you for being our one and only true God. And Father, I just ask that you be with us today as we do the business of the county, that you might bless us, that you might fill us with the Spirit, that we may make the decisions that need to be made, not in our light, but in your light, so that we know those things will be fair and will be effective to all the people that we have to think about. And Lord, I just thank you for your love. Thank you for your grace and your mercy in our lives. And I ask that you would just be with us, guide and direct our hearts. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Opening of sealed bids for the Johnson County Horse Barns project. And as we're getting ready to open these bids, this is for 2 new horse barns at the Johnson County Park to help us more efficiently and effectively handle the horses that we have coming in. It's growing all the time, and I'm just tickled to death that we're being able to do this and be able to help bring more things into the park. So this is a good thing.
So the first bid is from PAF Construction LLC. It is for $846,934.22. 846,934.22. The second bid is from Duke Commercial, and it is for $642,000. So 642,000.00. There is also an alternate number 2 for $9,000. Sorry. I'm checking to see if there was an alternate on the first one. I don't think so. Did I see? I think it must have been included. Okay. Sorry. The third bid is from C.W. Sneed Company, LLC. The base bid is for $687,408.00, 687,408.00. There's an alternate number 1 for $5,175.00, so 5175.00. And alternate number 2 for $9,149.00, so 9149.00. Bid is from White Oak Commercial Group. This is for $820,914.00, so 820,914.00. There's an alternate number 1 for $78,200, 78200.00, and alternate number 2 for $9,000, so 9,000.00.
Too tight, too thin. I don't know. Take some review.
Okay, the last bid I have here is from First Dew Company. The bid is for $749,744.00, so 749,744.00. And alternate number 1 is for $17,000 even, 17,000.00. That's it.
Okay. I'd move to turn over to Brian and Kevin Leonard and Wes Harrison, kind of come back with next meeting with a recommendation.
Second. Any further? Thank you to all the bidders that bid, and we appreciate getting the 5 bids that we got. So, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Ron is on now? About to be. Okay. We're kind of waiting on Commissioner West to get on. He's in a different time zone evidently. Well, we know that, right? He's always in a different time zone. Let's give it just a second. Having trouble getting in. Waiting for host to start meeting. Anyway, let's go on. He'll jump in when he gets on there. Appointment of board member to the Nineveh Conservancy District Board.
I mean, I read that and Mrs. Mudd, just a reappointment of her, and I would make a motion for her to be reappointed onto the board.
I'll second that. Any further? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of Comcast BEAD program letter for grant.
Move to approve.
Second. Any further? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Employee handbook change.
Yeah, I'm good with it. We'll make another one. I'm
There'll
sure.
be more.
There'll be more.
So
So I'd move to approve the change.
Second. Any further? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Have we got him in yet? He's missing out on all this good stuff. Ratification of letter in support of HB 1100.
I'm gonna move to approve.
You want to talk, say what it is?
You can tell me if you want to.
Just
This is a bill, HB 1100 is for a bill to expand the definition of extreme sports area, and that is to allow our Gatling Gauntlet to reopen essentially and give exceptions to the county for liability purposes, just on the basis that it's more likely than not kind of roped in the same category as a skateboarding park or a roller skating park that the IGA has already created exceptions for. So it will still allow the county to keep it in a reasonable condition, but it won't be as susceptible to liability. So we're in support of this bill to get it reopened and ready for citizens to be able to use it.
And this should be a simple bill. It shouldn't be
Shouldn't be
a big
controversial.
deal. We'll
Yeah.
see where
Yeah, it goes.
There's a lot of those out there that should be simple that probably won't be, but
Yeah,
Just need to get it back, get it working again.
yes.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Here he comes.
Oh. Good morning, Commissioner.
I'm on, I'm not sure.
You're on. You'll get IT educated one of these days, Ron, or we will, one or the other. I don't know. Approval of,
All the people that have problems, I'm the least qualified.
no, I don't know that that's true, sir. I'm probably less qualified. Approval of apply for grants, community corrections approval to apply for the 2026 DOC grant. This is an annual.
Yeah, that's, you want to talk about it?
If you don't, we just move on.
There's
I'm
not,
good.
He's good, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, I second his. If that's a motion, I'll second it. Yeah, it's something we do annually and we need it to operate, so.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. EMA approval of Johnson County continuity of government operations plan. Good or bad? Right? I think we got it down pat. I don't know that.
Stephanie Seasting, Emergency Management Director. Yeah, we have to do this every year. Government plan, operations plan.
I didn't read it in its entirety, but I read enough of it.
The many
It's
pages.
something that I have to do.
Yeah.
That's the short version.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sending us the short version. It
Yeah,
was still
well, that's
pretty
one
long.
of them. The second one's the biggest one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Promulgation of Johnson County CEMP, almost sounds like marijuana, plan for 2025. I don't know why that
Yeah,
went through
it's
my
the
head.
County Emergency Management Plan. That's the one that's like
Oh, there we go,
400
yeah.
pages long.
Which is basically the same thing.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's really long because it breaks down every section, so, yeah.
Yep. Move to approve.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any further? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Thanks for not reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to read it.
Highway, several things, award and execution of 2025 mill and overlay project, and then I'll let you go from there, Dan.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, Daniel Johnston, Highway Engineer. We do recommend, excuse me, award and execution pending legal for the 2025 mill and overlay project to Howard Companies. Their bid was $2,168,605.57. This is a community crossings funded project, so a 50-50 split with NDOT. And we are also asking for a 3% contingency amount of $65,000 to allow us to make some field decisions as needed, but then we would bring those to the board for ratification afterwards.
Does the 3% seem adequate enough to,
For this type of project, this is actually going to be very similar to what was done last summer in Morgantown Road, a 4.5-inch mill and overlay. It's not very complicated work, it just happens to be 6.5 miles of it.
just a lot of it?
Yes.
Okay. I will move for approval pending legal.
And you know, all these, they're good. They don't have to be pending legal.
So-
We've already reviewed them all.
Retract that and just move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Our second item is our recommendation, award, and execution of the County Road 144 and Morgantown Road roundabout project to Reith Riley Construction. They were the low bidder. After we did a review of their bid, we actually found a minor math error. It didn't make any change in terms of who was the low bidder. They were still the low bidder. So that corrected amount is $1,270,014.71. This is a 100% locally funded project, but joint project between the county and the town of Bargersville. And also asking for another 3% contingency amount of $38,000 for this project.
And was some of this funded through the impact fee?
Yes, the road and bridge
Okay.
impact.
I just wanted to let everybody know that that's some of the funding that came from that, so, okay. I will move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Our next item, also related to that, we are requesting your approval and execution of the construction inspection contract with Crossroad Engineers for that project in the amount of $142,500.
I will move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And my last item is related to the Bridge 602, that's Smith Valley over the LIRC railroad track. Excuse me. This is requesting your approval and execution of contract amendment number 3 with our designers, Hanson Professional Services. This is for utility coordination efforts in the amount of $14,000. The reason for this, we recently learned that Duke Transmission is conducting, or they're planning to do a pole replacement project in the vicinity, in the area of the bridge. So the purpose of this will get Hanson engaged with Duke to ensure that Duke's project doesn't create any design or constructability problems for our future bridge project.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
I did got a question real quick for Daniel, because I've been going back and forth with Duke Energy trying to get the information we need on the pole relocation. Daniel, you were going to forward to me some communications with Jim Beck. I haven't got those.
Okay, I'll make sure that you get those.
Thank you.
I think we voted, right? Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, both you guys, for working on that little, Luke, what I talked to you about on the bridge up at Fry Road, for getting that taken care of. Really appreciated. Guys sent a lot of thank you back for that. Thought it was going to be a battle, and it wasn't. So thank you for your efforts on that. When you sent that back, I was like, wow.
Yeah, Luke, and also too, can we speak just for a minute on Bill 1461? If you could come to the microphone, you or Daniel, either one, whoever wants to speak on it, but I want to make sure that we at least, what I want, Luke, is we're having some bills that, as you know, we're really engaged in here in the last 2 years. We've been very engaged in things going on at the state, but there's a bill that kind of changes or is trying to change some of the things we're trying to do for road funding, bridges, and in the cities and towns. And look, you'd sent me an email this morning, and I was just kind of going through it, I guess. So what they're saying is in this bill is that whether we have a cum bridge or not, they're still going to hold the counties responsible for bridges in the cities and the towns. Is that correct?
Yeah, based on the original language, Luke Maston, Highway Supervisor, based on the original language in that bill, that would have been the requirement. There's some amended language, which is getting voted on in a few minutes, but the ultimate result of that language has the same outcome. Essentially, counties would be responsible for bridges within cities and towns, regardless of whether they have a cumulative bridge fund. That is not currently mandated in the statute, nor has it ever been, to my knowledge. The only time that stipulation applies is if the county has a cumulative bridge fund, which we currently do not. There are other counties in the state that don't as well, but not very many. I think there are 6 total. Some of them have, like Allen County has their own language in another statute that's specific to their county. Some are funding that through other local funds, or are not funding that at all. So we're definitely in the minority. It's unfortunate what the language currently says, so it's something that we need to keep an eye on and potentially make sure our concerns are vocalized.
And in that, though, I mean, the effect is basically our option would be to put the cumulative bridge fund back in place. Is that?
We would have to. The problem with that is the cumulative bridge fund is one of a few where the tax levy falls under the same cap as the general fund. And that was the bulk of the reason that ultimately was eliminated we couldn't fund it to the level that needed to be funded without having some significant detrimental impact to the funding that's available in the general fund.
Okay. And again, I just wanted Luke to explain that so we'll get it on public record of some of the things that we're dealing with at the state level that just don't seem to make sense to counties that have a different, unique way of doing things than other counties. And this is what we've been dealing with every year since I've been engaged in this. And it's just, the process is not fair in the way that it's done and the way that these bills are put through. A lot of times there's things attached to them that change a lot of other things that we don't even think about. You know, you throw something in a bill, it gets passed, and most people don't even know it's in the bill. And these are things that we are dealing with and fighting with that we never really paid much attention to prior. And I'm glad that we are paying attention, but in that it causes us a lot of frustration. And I wanted to make sure that at least the public knew we're out there fighting and trying to do everything we can to protect the citizens of Johnson County and every county, because whatever we do affects every county too. So I appreciate your input and you getting engaged in that, Luke, and you and Daniel on that, because it's important that we at least are aware of what's going on and what we're being dealt to on this. So one of many bills that we're working on, but this is just one of them. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
These are things that people don't see, that jobs that people are doing in this county that we don't know about, or most people don't know about, and really takes a lot of time and a lot of effort that we have to deal with, not only as commissioners, but also as department heads and engineers and Parks Department. There's just things going on that a lot of people don't know that we're having to put a lot of time in. Health Department is a biggie right now with the Health First funds and what's going on there. So just a lot of things going on, and I want to make sure people were aware of it. So this at least makes it public that we are engaged and we are trying to do some things that people are probably not aware of. And I know the sheriff's involved in some things too that we're working on. So a lot of stuff going on. And it seems to all not be to the benefit of Johnson County. I say it all the time. We'll go from there. WIC, approval of Cornerstone Letter of Intent.
Tracy here.
No, she told me she had an appointment.
Okay. Hi, Betsy Swearingen, Health Department on behalf of WIC. Okay.
I've been working with Betsy and Tracy on this for a new location up in the Greenwood area. So I know we've been working with the attorneys on this. So I'm going to move for approval on the Cornerstone, the letter of intent.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of lease agreement for Vala Vista pending legal.
Still pertaining to the same location. And we're dealing with some legal stuff on the lease. And I will move it pending legal. See where we come up. I think we've got a little heartburn on a couple of things, but we'll get it worked out.
Can't imagine having heartburn on anything.
That's just government. So
It'd be too easy if we didn't, right?
I move to approve.
Second.
He was waiting. He didn't hear you.
No, I didn't make a motion. That's smart.
Any further? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Beth. And just so you know, Betsy, I sent my proposed budget for all the counties for the Health First funds to Dr. Weaver this morning. So we'll see where that goes. But I did a breakdown of my own on what I felt was fair to the counties. And as most people know, or at the state level know, one of the reasons we held out in the first year of not taking those funds was so some other counties that needed the benefit of those funds would get more funds, and then those funds ended up being distributed in a way that just didn't make sense to us in going to the larger counties instead of the smaller counties that really needed the funds. So I actually took the budget for this year of the $100 million and I broke it down over the 92 counties and sent that to Dr. Weaver to look at. don't think it'll get much traction, but
It can't hurt.
I
so-
sent it anyway.
can't,
And
right.
and I think it's fair, and it's
Just have to try.
from a simple mind, but a simple mind that has been doing budgets for years and years in business. So we'll see where it goes from there, but I just want to let you know I did that, and I'll forward you what I sent, just so you
Thank you.
have an idea what I did.
Okay, I appreciate it.
He's working on that, and I met with Senator Bray on it too, so.
We got a lot going
Working
on.
on it.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
I think I did hear, though, that the state said late last week that I think about 2/3, the counties could be looking at about 2/3 of what they got this year, so.
Yeah, the budget's just really, at this point, it's cut in half to 100
Okay,
million.
That's what I was, yeah.
That's what we've been told at this point, and that's what I based my estimations on, was the 100 million, which is just exactly half of what we got
Okay.
the prior year. So it's still feasible and it's still workable.
It's still
It
money,
really
we'll,
is.
we'll take it.
But it's
but-
money that could be used, I think, better and more effectively and efficiently in a different way.
I agree.
And that's, again, that's why we stayed out to start with, is we felt like it wasn't what was really needed
Well,
in the
what you thought was
area.
gonna happen, happened, so.
So, and I told you so.
And we did not set it up for dependency,
No.
so that's a good plus, so it's not
It
gonna
is.
hurt us either
It is.
way.
Yeah, we're
Right.
fine, but there's other counties that, smaller counties especially, that utilize those funds very well, but they allowed their budgets to change a little bit for that too, and it's not fair based on the way it's being done. I mean, the larger counties have a bigger tax base, it's easier for us to use those funds without drawing from other funds, but you get into these smaller counties, it puts them kind of behind the eight ball in the way they do things, and I don't blame them. They're just trying to make the best of what they got, so.
Well,
Anyway.
they're cutting a few other grants too, that a lot of those smaller counties base their full-time employees on, and that's gonna be a grant that's been in place for probably close to 20 years, and now we don't think it will be there after.
Yes, and I've talked to some larger counties, commissioners in larger counties and commissioners in smaller counties, and I see the effects that those things have in all the different size counties.
Oh, they can be catastrophic, so.
And it is,
It is.
and it's gonna be hard to deal with, but we'll get through it. We'll figure it out.
We will.
Johnson County, we're gonna be fine,
We should be just fine.
yeah, but other counties, not so well in this, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll get that to you.
Okay, thank you.
New and old business claims.
The only thing I saw on claims, and I didn't have a chance to get a hold of the auditor's office this morning, but the park department had a claim, Princess Lake Water. They have several, but this one was for $986.86. And I just, for the life of me, could not imagine what kind of water usage they may have had to get to that number. So I bring it up. Libby can look at that, and maybe if we need to, we'll get a hold of Kevin at the park department. They might have a leak somewhere. Other than that, I move to approve.
Second.
And I assume you heard that, so any idea what that is on there? Kevin's here, Ron,
So I
so,
think,
yeah, so we'll let him speak.
Kevin Leonard, Park Superintendent. Yeah, we did have a leak at the Scout building that we found and caught, so that's probably why it was a little high 1 month.
Did you hear that, Commissioner?
I did, yeah, okay. I was just concerned when I saw that amount that something was awry.
Sometimes I'll work with you on leaks.
Yeah, I know
Refund some
we
of
did
that.
have
It depends on
one.
where it's at. If it's inside the building, they won't. If it's outside, maybe they'll work with you.
Yeah, I know
on
we
it.
had one outside where the new office is gonna be, and they worked with us on that one, but I think the Scout, I don't think so as much, but.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir, appreciate it. Have a motion and a second, any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye,
Opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner minutes approval for 12/16/2024 regular meeting and 1/13/2025 regular meeting.
Move to approve.
second,
I have a motion and a second. Any further? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any public comment? Anyone? All hearts and minds free and clear?
Move to adjourn.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. We're adjourned. Thanks, Commissioner.